Hello folks, as usual I'm going to do a round of tech checks. Hopefully you can all see me and hear me clearly. Please do type in chat saying, hey, you can indeed see me and hear me clearly. We're going to do a bunch of questions related to CAT, have a general conversation, have put one. We are into the CAT 2024 preparations. We've been into it for a while now. Those of you who are taking it seriously and who've started early. It's probably a good time to start thinking about it seriously if you're only now beginning the journey. There is still enough time. There is just a lot of time. We're not in enough time territory. We're in a lot of time territory. I'm going to cover some ground and answer a few questions that students had posted and then take questions from chat. And good evening to all of you. Good to be here. Good to see this session. Give me a second. I'm just doing one round of tech checks. I'm not being rude. Even though it looks like that, I'm just making sure that the technology is working fine and I can see the chat and questions and all of that. Good evening. Hello Riaz and good evening Arnab Bandal. Good to see all of you here. Happy Republic Day to all of you. And, I don't know if all of you know why the Republic Day is celebrated on January 26th. I'm not going to go big general knowledge spree here, but do know that. If you don't know that, then check it out. And the Jan 26 has a special place in India's thing. I think Jan 26 was historic significance of Jan 26 goes way before the Republic came into being officially, with the Constitution being coming into play. In fact, August 15th is slightly anomalous. You know why India got independence on August 15th? The bugger was supposed to pick the date. It was his favorite date because he went to war on that day and won some nonsense. So it was some other guy's favorite date is our Independence Day. And so I'm not happy about that. But the Republic Day holds special significance. I like August 15, Jan 26. It's one of those things where we come together and say, hey, nice, let's celebrate this day. It's a big deal. Yeah, where we make unfunny jokes about the Brits as well. I'm having one look at the chat. Sharda Prasad, good to see you. Arjun, good evening. Krishnamurthy B, good evening. Anish Anand, good evening. Irfan, Srirag, good evening. Anish Anand, Gopalapuram, lovely. Offline classes on Saturday as well? No, right now no. We will probably start an offline batch for Saturday a little while later. But right now most of them are on Sunday. Raghavendra Ramesh, Simon Frank, income tax. I'm going to hold off on that. I'm not saying hello to somebody called income tax. I mean, I have a long-running layer of discontent, if I can put it like that, with income tax. All kinds of tax, really. Vash, Bennett Samuel, Akhilesh Agarwal, Harshit Chandrana, good evening to all of you. Good to see you. I'm also in a nice happy mood. I attended the Hindu Lit for Life Festival. I had a few sessions this morning. Lovely place. I got to hear Mr. Ramchandra Guha speak. Even though it was not a session that was run by him. It was not a session about him. He was not on a panel. But it's the wonderful use of words. As a linguist, I like him. As a historian also, I like him. So I'm a big fan. So that was good. And India is playing unusually well. So I'm very happy. Not unusually well. We have been the kings at home. But our usual suspects, our big batting order, when Kohli is not there, Rohit Sharma is not firing. And the next king to be Shubman Gill is had been having a horrific time of it. But the team came together rather well. And it must be utterly depressing for England to have Akshar Patel come in at number 9. I remember this being tonked around by Ian Healy and Kevin Robertson and whoever not, for God's sake, from Australia. They would suddenly have a number 7 guy playing very well, and then a number 9 coming in and scoring nonsense runs against us. And so utterly depressing. They would never have a really what can be called a tail. No, we are dishing it out. So I'm happy. Akshar Patel at 9 is really cruel on opposition. Vaishali Sharma saying huge respect from MP. I don't know why the MP part is significant. Income tax has come back saying, my name is Prajwal. Good evening to you, Prajwal. Irony is very clear. Enough cricket talk. Let's get on with it. And so those of you who have had the Sam Currans of the world destroy us for no good reason, they're utterly non-entities careers, but they had good sessions, good seasons against us, good series against us, turning point roles they played. And, now if Akshar Patel can dish it out, then very happy for it. Sorry, Aranis, I know you hate cricket, but it's kind of, you're born in a certain generation in India, there's some amount of test cricket as part of habit. I was sitting in some session, I'm talking to my kids, I quietly check the score. I need to know that. Every 10, 12 minutes maximum, I need to check. Fine, so that's part of who we are. Anyway, back to CAT 2024. There are about 8, 9 questions that we've been handed over. I'm going to have a very quick go at those, and then we'll take questions from chat. Hopefully, it'll not be too long a session. We're still only in January. There's lots of time. We will be doing this give or take once a week. That is a plan. So let's get going. When should I finish the syllabus and start mocks? First of all, the question is being phrased very interestingly. And so, one of those questions which says where it presupposes that it has to be answered in one way. Right? So, when do I finish syllabus and start mocks? I like this question because the entire premise is wrong. You don't finish syllabus and you don't wait to finish syllabus to start mocks. The whole independent tracks. The way you prepare for syllabus, prepare for speed, and take mocks are 3 different tracks, 3 overlapping tracks, and 3 tracks that have to kind of get intertwined with each other. You lead with finishing syllabus in the beginning, you end with ruthlessly doing mocks in the end. But you don't finish one and start the other. Chances are you won't finish syllabus for a long time to come. And so there are a bunch of things that I would like to still do and still learn by way of saying finishing syllabus. Give me a second. Anything wrong?
Long press.
Long press here, inside? Made that screen thing exit. So when should you start taking mocks? I would say you should you should take one as quickly as soon as possible, but latest by April you should take one. You should just take one. And so once you get the idea of what the different moving parts are, you should take one. And then you should take one every 3 weeks, one every 4 weeks in April, May, June. By the time you're in June, you should be on to a schedule. June first week should be at least on once every 10 days, and then soon enough going to once a week as a rigorous schedule for taking mocks. You probably will not finish syllabus before the exam. It doesn't matter. You don't need to finish syllabus to start taking mocks. The essence of this question is that there's an idea that we finish syllabus and take mocks. Kill that today. You'll probably not finish syllabus ever, but you should start taking mocks. You don't need to finish syllabus to take mocks. Super important. First mock as early as possible. Those of you who have taken CAT once before, take mocks now, today. Those of you starting off for the first time and just beginning to set out the stall to understand what this game is, then defer the mock taking by 2-3 months, start in April. 1, set the ball rolling, just know what it is. I feel weak in quants, how can I overcome? Sometimes I feel demotivated and not able to prepare. So there are a couple of things. Lots of people are uncomfortable with quants because they've not handled quants for a long time. They carry a slight math phobia. They have kind of sometimes run away from math throughout their career, maybe at the class 11, class 12 level, or the undergraduation level, or immediately after that, or probably before that. If you want to have a good stab at this exam, you can no longer be math phobic. And so the paper is, 1/3 of the paper is completely math. There's a ton of stuff in logical reasoning and data interpretation that is math linked. You have to kill that thing which says, let me jugaad my way out of mathematics. Let me just fend and defend and duck and weave and do 4 things and not really get into mathematics, but get myself an MBA seat. You should kill that attitude. You should say, look, very often people develop a reluctance to learn math because it's not being learned the right way ever. So embrace ideas from fundamentals, embrace from first principles, learn proofs, ideas, concept. Beautiful ideas can be, if you learn quadratic equations and then see the diagrams for those, it opens up a whole new set of possibilities. And so like I said, like I was about to say, beautiful ideas have to be appreciated by seeing it the way the guys who are thinking of it as beautiful, they are seeing. Very often we're doing wholly different things when we're learning math. A bunch of guys were thinking of it as formulae, equation solving, computing, multiplying, dividing, using a calculator, getting an answer. And a bunch of other guys are saying, oh, nice patterns, beautiful question, lovely proof, oh, exciting answer, elegant solution. So the vocabulary, language, what they see are their worlds apart. The same set of questions. And so I would strongly urge you to be in the camp which says, I'm going to have some fun with this. You have to crack this, first of all, overcome that fear part. Second, embrace the idea that you're going to learn it from first principles. Third, go right ahead and say if a bunch of people are really enjoying this stuff, I cannot afford to be the guy who's just gritting through this all the time. Don't be that. You don't have to be that. You have to figure out ways of saying, what in the whole wide world is 1001 about? Why are these guys looking at this question and suddenly a smile pops up into their face? You see 1001. I mean, I'm like, so 1001. It's not even like 1000. That's not a round number. It's not. Why are they smiling? They're smiling because 1001 in their head is 7 into 11 into 13, which is nice to them. They're smiling because if you have 465 and you multiply by 1001, you get 465, 465. They find these kind of things funny, interesting, fun, patterns, ideas. So you have to figure out ways of seeing math the way these guys are seeing math, the guys who think of it as fun. Sometimes it's just nature. You're not going to become that person overnight or suddenly by doing this for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But you have to take every effort because it's a long, hard grind. Don't find jugaad solution to get out of CAT prep without getting deep into math. Don't just grin and bear math. Don't tolerate math. To some extent, you've got to embrace it and say, look, I'm going to enjoy this. This is good fun. And that's very, very, very crucial. And if that happens reasonably well, then this kind of takes care of itself. So figure out a way to think about mathematics from the eyes of the guy who really like this. Very crucial, very important, very crucial for everything. For a long time, not for a long time, even now, I'm an utterly, extraordinarily poor person when it comes to drawing. And so my family is pretty good at it. They look at pictures slightly differently. I used to tell myself, look, my hand skills are poor, so I can't draw. Like my brother used to make a joke saying, if you draw an amoeba, I will know where you have finished it. An amoeba is a freewheel thing, right? You have to finish it. You'll be like, look, I can tell where you have finished it. You're that bad. And so I've always said, look, this doesn't come for me. Just check it. But a large part of art, drawing part is not hand skill. It's about creatively thinking about the thing and learning the skill set for that. I've never done that, but I can see that people are doing it, and that's wholly different from how I think about art. So you have to figure out a way to reconstruct mathematics in your head. That's the ball game. You do that, everything else will fall in place. Right? Is CAT the hardest exam or is CAT an unpredictable exam? Neither. CAT is not the hardest exam. CAT is not a patch on the JEE. It is not. It is not half as tough as the IPMAT exam, difficulty level wise. So the challenge in the math part. It is comparable to IPMAT, but still IPMAT is tougher. It's not a patch on the JEE, and tons of exams that are far tougher than this. In terms of intensity and how much you have to prepare, the UPSC exam is orders of magnitude tougher than CAT. Is it an unpredictable exam? No, 3 sections, time limit, multiple choice questions, predominantly objective completely, +3 - 1 or +3 0. Scores based on percentile. If the paper is slightly tougher or easier, it's practically very clearly tougher or easier for everybody. And so what is very clearly definable far outweighs the little volatility that can be there. I'm not saying it's super predictable. I'm not saying it is easy. It is not the hardest. Tons of exams tougher than that. It is not super unpredictable. 3 sections, defined times, objective, multiple choice and theta, negative marking, syllabus is more or less prescribed. So all of these things we know for sure. Within that, there could be a time where quant is way tougher, like CAT 2023, or LRDI is wackily tough, like 2022. Next year, maybe verbal could be tough. So within one framework, within that framework, we can have volatility. But the volatility gets averaged out, not averaged out, but knocked out because you're talking about an exam where you're ranked and not your score is not important. Where you stand, what your percentile is important. If it's tough for you, it's tough for everybody. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. How many hours should we dedicate to CAT prep? CAT 2024 is my first attempt. I've always built my study plan around fewer hours of study. And I get burnt out easily. I can't do 7-8 hours of study on a daily basis, day in, day out. If I have 1 7-hour a day, my next 2 days are going off. I know that. And so I would start gently. For me, it is 10 to 15 hours per week now, going up to 15-20 hours per week in July, August, September, going up to 20-25 hours per week in October, November. It's a whole week thing. This does not include about 1 hour of reading every day. Right? If you're preparing for 15 hours in a week, apart from 1 hour of reading every day, or 12 hours, those 12 hours have to be fully switched on. That's not negotiable. Not goofing off, not checking mobile, not being on Instagram, not watching something, not plugging your headphones on. But 12 hours of intense study plus 45 minutes to an hour of reading every day, you're more than covered. That is all you need to find. Find that and be intense now, and then amp it up to 15, 18 hours, 24, 23 hours later on, you're good to go. It's not a content-based exam as much as an application-based exam. Prepare for doing a CA or for UPSC, then you need to know tons of stuff about tons of things. It's not like that. The syllabus is super narrow. There's a good 10th standard student, he or she can nail this exam. By nail, I mean 99.9 percentile. And so quite a few of them will be on top of their game. They can kill this, bury this. And so syllabus is not vast. So it's application driven. So your intensity and being switched on and being smart and figuring out things, your ability to think on your feet, those are all important. You know, you can't just do time. Keep that in mind. When should I start LRDI preparation? If your basics in quant are in place, you should shift to LRDI. If you're starting today, then the first 2 months will have a heavy bias towards quant. That is Feb and March. By April first week, you're on to LRDI. April and May, you probably spend time studying the building blocks of LRDI. And from June, you're basically saying, I'm going to do those puzzles very much like what we can expect in CAT. One per day, amping it up to 2 per day. And so LRDI does not have a super defined prescribed syllabus like how quant does. And so don't prepare it with the syllabus idea in mind. It doesn't work. I've seen so many people saying, I've done tournament questions, sequences questions, arrangement questions, Venn diagram questions, sets questions, all kinds of things. And then it simply doesn't add up. Because you're carving out templates that don't exist. It doesn't work. So to the extent possible, go into the mixed bag, unconventional, atypical sets as early as possible. If you're starting today, the first 2 months will have a quant bias. The next 2 months will have the LRDI basics bias. After that, you're doing 1 set per day, or starting off with 1 set per day. For preparation schedule, for figuring out, having a good schedule for quant, for verbal, LRDI, overall schedule, we have a video that's going to be released by Monday. It's a very thorough, very well outlined video. Go through that. That should be gold. Will it be easy for a working professional to crack CAT given the time constraints? Nothing difficult or nothing big, nothing significant ever comes easy. You're signing up for this journey. Don't look to quit your job. Please don't. Jobs are insanely useful things, insanely valuable things, and very often, and right now at least, insanely tough things to lay your hands on. If you're in a good job, hang on to it. If you're in a bad job, try to get a good job. And so, but don't be flippant about the idea of having a job. Definitely stay in a job. Don't quit your job and prepare for CAT. Is it difficult? Of course it is difficult. Of course it is difficult. But I said you're looking to carve out 12 to 15 hours per week. If you can do 2 hours per day, Monday to Saturday, brilliant. You get your Sunday off. If you can't do that and you're doing 5 hours on Saturday, 5 hours on Sunday, and some 1 hour, 2 hours squeezed in somewhere else, that's also good. But that 12, 15, 18 hours, 12 to 15 now, 15 to 18 later, 18 to 22 right at the end, that you must carve out. That's a non-negotiable. You can't say I'm ambitious, I want to study the best colleges, I want to be a great entrepreneur, I want to be a manager, I want to get a big fat pay packet, and not turn up and do these things. It's not astronomical, it's not impossibly tough, but that number you have to do. There are very few guys who can just waltz in and crack CAT. If you're in that brigade, you're probably not listening to this. You know that, and then you have a shot at it, you have fun in life. But if you're not in that brigade, then these are the numbers. You have to pick that and chase. Which topic do you suggest to concentrate on a daily basis? For the first 2 months, more quant. The next 2 months, more LRDI, so that you get the basics out of the way. Also doing quant. By April, starting on some mock journey. Read for an hour every day. From July, August, more aggressively doing mocks. The last 2 months, pretty much only mocks. Those are the broad contours of preparation, As I said, we have a more detailed video coming up in 2-3 days. You should be able to have lay your hands on a good schedule straight away there. I'm doing MSc second year now. I'll complete in November month only. The only free time I get daily for CAT prep is 2 to 3 hours the night. How should I plan my CAT 2024? 2 to 3 hours every day is phenomenal. It is super high. It is wonderful. So bank that 2 to 3 hours Monday to Friday. You get 10 to 15 hours. If you get 12 hours, you're done. Use your Saturday, Sunday to consolidate, to fill the gap on something that did not go well, where one day it was messed up, all of that. And catch breaks, play, move, watch TV, meet people, talk to friends, all of that. Don't put your life on hold for CAT preparation. One, CAT preparation is an uncertain game, number one. Number two, it can get overwhelming if you are completely consumed by it from now. So be careful about that. Lovely. I'm going to have one look at the chat. Akhilesh Agarwal, what to choose between online interview or offline interview? Look, I have a preference for offline interview if you don't have to travel too much. If the ops are too challenging, go for online. But you always make a better impression face to face. How to start prep for the 0.1 percentile? What is the time required? The same time required. You have to prepare with more intensity. The difference between like 99 and 99.8 is very often not processing speed. It is processing speed, no doubt about it, not just that. It is the ability to be not wrong that frequently. And so I've seen that the guys who are 99 percentile, typical 99 percentile and typical 99.8 percentile on an average, by and large, they attempt the same number of questions. And so if you look at the marks, if you look at the split, it could so happen that out of an overall paper, both have attempted 41, 42 questions. The guys who get 99th percentile are getting 14, 15 of them wrong. The guys who get 99.8 are getting 6, 7 of them wrong. So it's not speed as much about getting a lot of things right all the time consistently, relentlessly. So if you're saying, look, I'm setting myself up for that kind of journey, be anal about accuracy from today. Don't be, if you get something wrong, you should be harsh on yourself. You can't say, it's just one calculation error, nonsense. So you have to be very particular about how you build your mind to set the bar for accuracy very high from step one. That could be the differentiating factor from now. Keep that in mind. Srijan R. I've become the kind of person who does really well when I get the answers right from the get-go. Otherwise, it doesn't go well. How do I give my best in every attempt? Or take a bunch of mocks, get beaten up by them, pick yourself up, you're good to go. Sometimes I say you take a lot of mocks so that you get used to getting beaten up by them, not to do well. There will be mocks, all of you will write, where you feel like, look, ye mock to gaya. Let me not disgrace myself. Let me not even finish this. Let me not even take the quant section, or let me just stop this at the middle of the LRDI section. The real ball game is to say, "Nahi, I'll hang in there. I know that my VRC is average. I know my LRDI is tanked. I'll still sit here and crack my quant because that's going to build my temperamental strength. That's who I am, and hang in there and do. A couple of times you do, your bounce back ability just keeps going up. Super important." Ariaz Ashraf took 6 months time for CAT 23, but couldn't get the desired score. Now I'm searching for a job as well, but struggling to get one. Would this affect my CAT 24 interview? You're a fresher, Ria, so it would affect less. The market is cruel and tough. So nobody is going to hold it against you if you can't find a job. The market is tough. Keep looking. There are lots of people who are hiring who will willingly reach out to, willingly be happy to somebody who's done the research about their company, who really shows a desire to work, who's keen and enthusiastic. If you're not very finished, you don't have to have a certain role or a certain pay or a certain title or a certain department or preference for stream or vertical. If it is some good job in a good company, that is massively useful, not just for your CV, but for this journey. And so apply away, make your candidacy more interesting. I know lots of companies that want, especially freshers, they want people with great attitude, willingness to work, and the ability to turn up and show up day after day. Don't overcomplicate this and imagine that you need to have 100 skill set to get a job. Fine. Market is tough. Not having a job is not going to be held against you. I'm going to revert to this and I'll come back to chat. This we have done. How to get full marks in VARC? I'm going to ping Jatin and have a crack at it. I don't know if too many people do end up getting full marks in VARC. Full marks in any section is directly linked to being anal about accuracy from day one. So if you want to get full marks in VARC, you need to read rather quickly. More than that, you need to be the person who reads, and when you're reading it for the first go, you get the crux of what is being said. And you don't have to keep revisiting that all over again, many times over. So your ability to concentrate and read long passages without losing the strand is super crucial. You need to have an enormous comfort level with reading all kinds of stuff all the time. You must be a voracious reader from now, like forever, throughout, till CAT and beyond. That's non-negotiable, absolutely. You need to be very particular about not overlooking things. You need to be very particular about picking up strands and detail. And as a habit, when you're doing RCs or VA, not get into this trap of saying VA mein to sometimes errors will come. I attempt 20, 15 will be right. That's how VA is. Don't do that. I've done that for years and I'm still trying to kick that habit. It is a multiple choice based objective exam. They're clearly saying us only one answer is correct. We cannot still be saying one of these two will be right, let me mark one. We still have to say one of these two is correct, let me find out which one. Super important. I think with this we are done. I'm going to go to the chat thing. Many thanks for students who chipped in with the questions. We picked not all of them because some of them I think are better answered with videos, not on a live session. And some are quirky or philosophical in nature, which we cannot answer. So we're staying away from those. Lovely. How about GMAT and GRE? If you're very keen to go abroad, you must think about both. GMAT, both, if you prepare for CAT, you're kind of ready for both of them. For GMAT, you'll need to increase your reading comprehension ability a little bit more, and critical reasoning. Luckily enough, the grammar part of GMAT has been eased out. No, GMAT no longer tests grammar now. The focus edition has kicked that out. GRE, you'll need to have slightly amped up vocabulary. But you add these two, you're good to go. Just to answer a question from Anuradha ji. Raghavendra Ramesh, LRDI is haunting me. The amount of concentration needed to remember things is unbelievable. Tips. Old-fashioned stuff, build from scratch. Do lots of variety, lots of practice. If you say, look, I want to get it better at LRDI, I'm going to do one puzzle per day, every day for 25 days. I can bet my bottom dollar from day 1 to day 25, you'll be measurably and immeasurably better. And you'll be like, oh, I've got this. So do that as a routine. Tips to ace VARC, tons of stuff. You get better and better at picking the right passages. You get better at resolving those 1 in 2s, reducing your error rate in reading comprehension and VA. But if you're saying what would I recommend as a big thing for verbal preparation today, read indiscriminately. Read different formats, that is books, novels, magazines, blogs, websites, different genres, different styles, different lengths of articles, different topics, and all the time. Build a reading appetite and a weirdly powerful reading comfort that completely removes fatigue from the equation, first of all, and then adds a little layer of joy later on. That's the number one factor. Everything else makes more sense if that is there in place. Is it feasible to aim for a top B school without work experience right after you? Yeah. About 20% of the top 5 B schools are freshers still in India. At least 15-18% are. You're effectively saying I'm looking to be among those. So up to how many colleges should one prefer to? Everyone aims for the IIMs, but if you get a percentile like in between 80 and 90, is it okay to target colleges? Oh, most definitely yes. Most definitely yes. Fine. So the 80 to 90 range is huge. Fine. So and there's so many wonderful colleges in our country that open up for that. Like IMT Nagpur, IMT Hyderabad are all 80 to 83 percentile. Velinkar, a bunch of Velinkars. The equivalent of that from Symbiosis gives you a bunch of, in Snap gives you a bunch of Symbiosis colleges. Some of the newer IITs and are in that range. So very good colleges are sitting there. Do your research. Everyone, look, this is an exam to get onto a career path, an MBA. An MBA is a broad course. Mandating that everybody should be in the zone only after they get 98, 99 percentile is absurd in the extreme. I've had quite a few guys who worked with me who are extraordinary, who are brilliant, who are academically sharp, who very much have it in them to score 99s, and they end up doing that and they go places. I've had an equal number of guys who will probably never score a 99 percentile, but are as much capable in terms of delivering in a work setting or a complicated problem solving setting as these academically brilliant guys. In India, sometimes we place too much of a store on academic brilliance, and we think that exam clearing is a proxy for academic brilliance and smarts and everything. Not. So there are wonderful colleges that are there that can take you places. Is it necessary to have a top-notch resume profile? No. If you have good 10th and 12th, that helps. Resume profile, very often we overcomplicate this and say how many papers should you have presented, how many languages should you know, how many internships should have done, how many certifications should have done. None of those matter. As far as the shortlisting process is concerned, the IIMs have 5 pots: class 10, class 12, undergraduation, work experience, CAT score, different weightages. So IIM Cal says, look, I don't care about your UG. I care less about your 10th and 12th. IIM Indore says, I'll care about your ACADS way more than I care about your CAT score. IIM Bangalore says, I care about all of this, but you have stellar ACADS, I'll let everything else go. So they have ratios across these 5, very in different mixes. But profile is only these 5. Suppose you have 18 months of experience, and then you have done 3 certifications, you have done presented 4 papers, and you are the volleyball champion of your state. None of these, the last 3 things will matter. For shortlisting, all these data is fed into a machine. The machine spits out a number. If that number is greater than the shortlisting score, you will get called. They don't look at your CV at all. So the whole idea of profile building to get a call is absurd. Profile building sometimes makes sense in the interview. Otherwise, no, nothing at all. Profile is ACADS, work experience, CAT score. I've purchased MRL gaming. I've purchased self-paced into IIM. Is that good enough? Oh, of course. Remember, for 2 IIM, we have a golden rule. Everything that we do in our physical classroom is automatically present in our live online course. And everything that we do in our live online course is automatically present in self-paced. So we say, look, if you turn up and you learn, it's available. The format is more friendly. It gives you more freedom. It lets you set your own pace, choose your time, reach out to us, have a discussion board, all of that. So it's just a preference towards format. But everything we do in live will be available in self-paced. I've completed my grad in 2023 in BCom, scored 97 in CAT 23, but only got called from new and baby IIMs. Should I wait 1 more year and try CAT 24 in Blackie? Depends on how confident you are in acing CAT 1 more time, and how happy you are to wait. If you're a fresher, the bias is more towards waiting, because with 2 years of experience, the same score will open 100 colleges. So give yourself that extra boost that experience can give you. So somebody who's got 93rd percentile and has 4 years of experience, then you say, look, I don't even know whether I have the enthusiasm to go for this CAT thing all over again. I'll pick some good college that can open up because of my profile and experience, and start off from there. If you got 97th and you're a fresher, and you know that, look, 97th percentile is not the limit of my capability, I think I have a 99 in me, then find yourself a good job, have another crack at it. Age matters. What your current role is, that matters. How confident you are of cracking that same percentile again matters. How temperamentally sound you are to do the whole journey. Sometimes people just get burnt out. And I remember when I was preparing for JEE, the JEE paper got cancelled. We were so burnt out that we had prepared for 2 years, but we were all completely, utterly deflated. The paper got leaked, we had to write the exam again, 2 months later. Those 2 months were insanely challenging. We were spent. We were gone. We were like, अब ये खत्म हो गया. Okay. And then खत्म नहीं हुआ. फिर से शुरू करना है. कुछ तो करना है अभी. It was a big, big, big challenge. Sometimes you're spent. You have to keep that also in mind. Got 98.8 in CAT 2023. This is title Durden. Brilliant score. No black e-calls. Happens. Bids grad, have a decent job. Good pay. Should I join MDI, CAP, IM, IIT or go for CAT 24? I think Abhishek is probably going to be better at having a go at it. If you're already in a plum job, then joining a college after rank 20 may not be great. It depends on how much experience you have. If you have fewer than 18 months experience, my bias would be to say, look, have one more go at it. There's not much downside. Age and experience also come into play there. But all of you who are thinking, look, I'm not going to join this college, please attend the interviews, please prepare for the interviews well and get the damn admits. If you get the admit, then you're saying, look, I've got the admit, I'm not joining. If you don't get the admit, then you didn't have a choice. You're just bullshitting yourself if you say, I'm not going to IIM Trichy. Did IIM Trichy give you an admit? If it is yes, then you're not going to IIM Trichy. If you did not get the admit, then IIM Trichy is saying, look, I don't want you. And so make sure that you go through the interview prep and process and crack the interview, have the admit in hand, and then say, ये तो मिल गया, लेकिन ये साल नहीं ले रहा हूँ. That's fine. Jitu, CAT 2023 slot 3 quant killed me. Can we hope for the same difficulty this time? Same, it killed you and you're hoping for it. And so we don't know. God only knows. And so we don't know. We simply don't know. And so I thought it was unusual. And IIMs typically have a tendency to revert to mean. They have a really wacky difficulty, then they bring it back. So I'm hoping it won't be as vague as this year. But even in that paper with good strong fundamentals, you could have got 6 questions right that take you to 97 percentile. Right? Or higher. Jonathan Raj Kodamala, I'm unable to comprehend the passages in VRC. What is the best way to increase my comprehension? Tons of reading. And it's almost like a one-size-fits-all gyan I'm giving for all VRC questions. Anybody who says, I want to improve in this, I want to do that, I want to get 100% accuracy, I want to increase my range, I want to improve my comprehension. I'm going to sit here all day long and keep saying, read a lot more, read with variety, read all the time. It will go up. It's inevitable. Anjali Sharma, starting with my CAT 24 prep with almost 2 years work experience. CAT seems much more than just answering questions. Started with basics, enjoying going through the basics so much. Lovely. I think that point that CAT is more than about answering questions is very correct, especially from the context of mocks. And so there is one syllabus upwards preparation thing and a mocks downward preparation thing. So you finish percentages, you finish profit and loss, you finish inequalities, you finish trigonometry, you learn geometry, circles, you add these building blocks, you do para-jumble sets, you do logical reasoning things, you do previous year questions, you do these chunks called syllabus. And then you take a few mocks and know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, how you get better at picking the right questions, how you bounce back, how you're temperamentally sound, how you take a deep breath and restart, that kind of stuff. And so when your initial part of your journey goes syllabus upwards. And in that process, the learning joy, you have to activate it and keep fueling it. Right? So in the last lap, it will be mock driven. What your mock says and how you tweak and how you don't care about some topics, but see if you can be in the zone. That is important. So that is in the last lap. Before that comes the syllabus level thing. But your funda that you're enjoying so much, that's beautiful. I hope you have that for a long time. Sabarish, oopsie, I've completely lost. Is it good in? Sabarish, while doing quant, I get to solve some questions and I can't even answer some basic questions. What can I do? Don't worry about questions at CAT level. Don't worry about answering everything. Get fundas right, build your practice. You're starting on this journey, quite likely. It takes a while. Don't rush through to the finish line. Ishna Yashiro, I'm currently in my BSc Physics last year, looking to crack CAT this year. Will they be harsh on my gap year? No. If you could not find a job, that's not a crime. That's how the world is right now. And quite a few people who have jobs are being politely asked to leave. And some of our companies have recruited crazily. Some of them have been utterly flippant about their business plans. So they're coming home to roost. They're telling us, look, this is how the world is accepted. I think quite a few of the layoffs are comprehensively, inexorably, absolutely, unquestionably management mistakes, and price for which is being paid by 21-year-old, 22-year-olds who are enticed into these jobs with great promises of growth and salary and whatever not. But it is cruel, but it is what it is. So find some job, make yourself, adding the ability to sell yourself to a potential recruiter is super good. It will hold you in good stead for another 45 years. So add that string to your bow. Figure out ways of pitching yourself as a candidate to any prospective recruiter. You tell somebody, look, I'm young, I'm enthusiastic, I'm ambitious, I'll turn up day after day and turn up, but I'm not expensive. I can tell you that 20 of my friends will say, look, kab aa rahe ho yaar, aa jao, come quickly. Right? Resources for reading, we've got a couple of videos online for books and blogs, and of course there is Bharat's reading list. Raghavendra Ramesh, a friend of mine, got 99.6 percentile, a fresher, but still didn't get called from ABC. He got called from K&I. I'm someone who's having work experience. It's concerning me like crazily. Thoughts, 99.6 is not good enough, Raghavendra. So sometimes we get the numbers mixed up. 99.6 is not good enough. I know it's very cruel to say this. I know 99.6 sounds like it is not sounds like, it's a fantastic score. Is it good enough? Probably not. So 3.3 lakh people applied for this exam. 2.8 something lakh people wrote this exam. 1% of that is 2,800. Fine. So 0.4% of that is 1,120 or whatever. Nice large number. I am A, B, C, L, I, all of them. They're calling for their number of general category seats they have, which is probably 225. They're saying, look, I'll call 5 times this number for interviews, or 4.5 times, 5 times this number for interviews. They're going to call 1,000 people. 1,150th rank will miss out. The bar for getting called by ABC is not 99.4, it's not 99.5, not 99.6. It is higher than that. It's something that is, the numbers don't add up. If somebody has got 99.6, they've not got a call. It is utterly to be expected. It is simply not unusual. The numbers say that 99.6 should not get a call. And that it is what it is. So if you're in the top 1,000 in the country, you could get called by ABC. I'm talking for general category. Otherwise, the numbers are up and down a little bit. So the top 1,000 these days, this is 99.7 nearly, not 99.6. So the bar is higher. You're ambitious. You want to study in the top colleges. You're a gigantic country. Lots of people who are super smart, super capable, and willing to do tons of work to give themselves a chance. It is going to be like this. But it was always thus. The percentage conversions and numbers are always like this. It's not that the competition has increased now or suddenly it has become difficult. It was like this when we guys wrote CAT in 2099, 2002, 2005, all of that. It is like this now, it will be like this later on. The one thing that we guys didn't have was a giant breadth and huge number of wonderful B schools that you could go to and make a mark in a growing economy. When I was taking CAT, we didn't really do indoor or Kozhikode too seriously. They were 2 years, 3 years old. So India had 6 to 8 national B schools. Now they're probably 15 times that number. All good, capable, credible, wonderful B schools with kick-ass infrastructure and good faculty teams and wonderful programs and great placements, whatever not. And so you don't have to say, look, I need to get 99.8 because I'll study only in IMA. Otherwise, it's not a success. It doesn't have to be framed like that. Steven Cherian, I'm doing PG now and taking MBA after PG, a bad option? No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Sometimes we don't. Some of the decisions are well thought out. Sometimes decisions are thrust on us. Sometimes we jump into decisions without processing them completely. It is completely fine to modify that and say, look, now I want to do an MBA. It's not going to be held against you. 778, is it good enough to target IIM Trichy Vizag? Yeah, you get a kick-ass score, you'll get called. This is to answer a question from MRL Gaming. Sachin, good evening. In a working guy, can I find time in the morning and evening? So how do I plan to study all 3 sectors? There's a detail. We discussed that question, Sachin, a while ago. There's going to be a detailed schedule that we release in another 3-4 days. Go through that. That gives a beautiful plan. Lata Muthukrishnan, is intense preparation required for CAT 2023? Of course, goes without saying. Intense preparation is required to build your fundas, to build conceptual clarity, to build speed, to build automaticity. Beyond all this, super intense preparation is required when you're taking mocks. I keep telling this to all my guys who are either working at 2IM or our students who reach out to us frequently. If you take a mock, at the end of the 2 hours, you should be dead tired. The first few mocks are utterly draining. Or first 1 or 2 are not draining because you're not throwing everything in. And then you start everything in, throwing everything in, and you get utterly drained. And then you reach a point where your mind can handle and process this without completely breaking down. And then you amp it up again. That's where you hit a sweet spot. I've taken CAT several times. I took my first CAT in the year 2000. I should probably have not said that. It makes me feel bloody old. But still, I take CAT now. At the end of the exam, I need about 10 minutes of just sitting down before I can do other things. My mind is still processing quant and LRDI and what I did in the question, was it a good question, all of that. But I'm physically exhausted. I'm drained. I need to just sit down for some time before I do anything else. And I'm not as invested psychologically as perhaps some of you guys are. But that training for me, it'll be super draining. So it's an intense process. Sign up for that. It's fun because it's intense. I'm not using intense as a negative adjective. I'm using it as a very positive adjective. And can I have a work ex of Srirag, I have a work ex of 2 months in a shutdown at Jamnagar refinery. Should I mention that in my resume? This is a problem for next year, Srirag. Don't worry about it. If it is true, it is true. Stick it in your resume. Whether it counts or not is different. Srihari got 95 percentile IMCAP call. Should I wait for next CAT? I'm confident of improving my percentile. Probably yes, but even so, definitely attempt these interviews, get the admit in hand. It also depends on how much experience you have, Srihari. Ajay Mundra, fear of quant. Learn quant with joy, people. Learn quant with fun. Learn quant with the idea that, hey, I can enjoy this. Break that barrier. Quant phobia is real and live, and it need not be. You're seeing quant as an utterly different thing compared to the guys who are enjoying quant are seeing. This is very interesting thing into the nice meme with guys sitting on either side of the bus, with cliffs one side and a wide open thing on the other side. Math is very much a divider like that. One bunch of guys are looking at the same thing and being utterly pained about it. Other guys are joyful. And so if you're in the camp which is fearful of mathematics, you have to shed that fear. Increasingly for most careers, you'll need to have a sound grasp of quant, basic numbers, basic numeracy. You don't need to be a doyen in functions and trigonometry, and of tech, both of them. Hit that like button now. 2IM CAT preparation saying, I'm seeing it only now. Please do hit that, support us, help us. Several of you have been in the journey with us for a long time now. Many thanks for that. Spread the word about us. We have a good team. I'm insanely proud of the guys who have worked with us in the past and working with us now. Capable, no doubt about it. Enthusiastic, no doubt about it. But they have their heart in the right place. And they'll root for students. They'll go the extra mile to counsel patiently. They understand the value of being around for mentoring. We do things from first principles. We don't do any gimmicky promise. Never have we said, "Ye kar do tumhe pakka mil jayega kuch admit." We don't believe in that. We don't create a fantasy thing. We don't think that needs to be a motivation factor. So to the extent possible, support us. Spread the word about us. And 2IM is a fabulous place to study with. At the very least, what you see is what you get, and you can verify every single claim we make by becoming a trial user and verifying, checking out the content. I'm insanely proud of the fact that we built that into the product. And so check us out and spread the word about us. I can't able to implement the quant question. Ajay Mundra, I don't get that question completely. Akhil B, I'm 24 now, don't have more than 1 year experience. Should I appear for CAT or look for any other job? definitely look for be in a job. If you don't have a job, whether after graduation, look for a job. There are places that will pay and take candidates with the right attitude and give them a boost. And so I'm aggressively looking for youngsters who will come and work with us in several different capacities. I'm struggling to find good quality youngsters who are driven and motivated and willing to turn up day after day and do some basic things. And so sometimes I find the fact that the job market is so tough, and it doesn't tally with how much I'm struggling to find good young people. And people have misplaced expectations and want a job to come and fall in their laps. Reach out, seek out to people. I have 3 years of experience. This is Kirat work. Left my job in September 2023, starting prep for CAT 2020, studying full time. No. Don't study full time, it's stressful. It's a 2-hour exam, it's a stressful exam. Definitely find a job that is meaningful. It is a stressful experience to quit job and prepare for CAT for hours on end. And suppose you get a beautiful sweet spot job and you quit in October and you start back in December. That's a great deal. You take a sabbatical, a break, and you take a 3-month off in the last window, run up to CAT. You tell your boss, chal nahi raha, I need a break, I need to do this. Then come back and restart. That is brilliant, especially if you have 3 years plus experience. Otherwise, quitting a job is a super risky proposition for both CAT chances and mental health. Bennett Samuel, after going through live class, can we directly attack questions, or it is suggested to go through pre-recorded classes then go? No. So see, very important to kind of own your preparation. You attend a live class, or you've seen ratios. You feel like, look, I've got this. Do a few questions. You feel like, look, I've got this. Do some advanced tests. You're good. Go to the next topic. You have the feeling that, look, I feel like I've got this. I'm not confident. Do basic tests, then go to advanced tests, CAT level questions. You're good to go. You go through this, but the class itself felt a little pacey for you. It's going slightly faster than what you would have wanted it to go. Then look at pre-recorded videos, feel comfortable, then take basic tests, then go to advanced tests. It's about how comfortable you are with the topic in your head. If you are, go right ahead, finish it off. Don't do some 3 more rounds of very basic things. May I know the starting percentile range that ABC considers for calls? Typically around 99.7. To answer question from Raghavendra Ramesh. 6, 7, 8. Is this CAT taken to which I am? Anything outside ABC, you can offset this with a good CAT score. 997.5, work ex of 1.6 years as of now. How much should I aim for getting old? I am 99.7. Easy question. Krishna question. Pranjal Pratap Singh, what is the best advice you can give to the people who are facing their 3rd attempt? Don't bypass fundamentals. Take lots of mocks. Take mocks early. Take exams beyond CAT. Definitely look at XAT and MAT. Probably think about GMAT as well. Sriharike, is there a difference in roles offered in placements in ABC and other IIMs from the same company? Typically not. Lots of companies don't differentiate. They select from Tier 1, Tier 2 colleges. But for them, Tier 1 is broad. It's not just 3 colleges. So if Hindustan Unilever recruits from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow, Indore, Kozhikode, job profiles offered to all of these candidates are very similar. If they recruit from a college rank 35, 40, then maybe they'll change. But 1 to 20 is the same bunch, typically. Some of the bigger companies don't go to campuses beyond ABC. That's a whole different ballgame. Sir, if I'm a freelancer, I break pretty some money. Still, do I need to take a full-time job? Freelancing does not get counted as, if you're on a gig-based thing and not officially employed, not on a contract basis, then it doesn't get counted as experience. See if you can redefine your freelancing thing. If you have a steady freelancing thing for 6 months, you can take it up as a contract and get incorporated as a firm, complete that, and you can pass it off as or figure out a way to call it experience. Please make video on cap calls. We'll try how to approach DLR. That will incorporate as a separate video. This is from Zuhair and Nishant. Bennett Samuel, does completing an MBA open up opportunities in government sector? Very limited. 90% of the placements are in the private sector. I don't see a natural transition to government sector that is either preferred or automatically available for B school graduates. It's not a people can find people who are interested in public service. Like there was a short service thing for the education sector that opened up 3 years ago. I was super keen. I did a lot of research. Then I think it was a very short thing. I didn't know what it entailed. And right about that time, 2M was beginning to do well. I didn't have a mechanism to put a pause to that and have somebody else run it. It was too much to give up to chase that. But I was very tempted on the role basis, not from my life point of view. But I really liked you could work in the education sector, shape policy, work with people, and I was tempted. And a bunch of my classmates said, you should check it out. And I did. So some people do think and some people do make that transition, but it's very rare. Tenth, 12th CGPA from Ram Kumar, all numbers are good. What should be ideal score for IM? Depends on the IM. Aim high, 99.7. Balasurya, 977 for fresher CAT percentile for ABC, 99.75, 99.8. I'm not doing that now, the percentile number, that's irrelevant. I cannot give it confidently and doesn't make a jot of change to your preparation plan. So put your head down and prepare for CAT. Jonathan, look for a job, keep looking for a job. The economic downturn these things also change. One fine morning, one company will start recruiting and then everybody will start recruiting and suddenly everything feels that much better. We've had a reasonably tough economic times in India for the last few months, but that for the ridiculously funded, overblown, fat companies. There are quite a few wonderfully built brick by brick organic companies that are still recruiting, that have recruited through this so-called downturn. So the meaningful part of the economy is still robust and functioning. Find that. Don't look for cool jobs, look for good jobs. Bedatrai Mundal, I left my job to study CAT and took freelancing as a thing because I have contract-based clients. I'm an academic writer. CAT is very important for me, so I really want to pour it all. Lovely. I think you've got it covered. See to the extent which you can get longer-term gigs that can be framed as meaningful contracts and employment. That is important. Wonderful, folks. I think we've covered pretty much all the basic groundwork. We're going to release a rather comprehensive video on preparation plan and schedule. It should be out by Monday latest. We thought of a very comprehensive framework and we're putting quite a few iterations into it, which is why it's getting delayed beyond what we thought it would take. But it should be good. I'm rather confident that it will come out as a good framework. It should provide a good starting step for all of you. Once it is out, we'll send it across to all of you. And many thanks for indulging me, contributing in chat and having a good conversation. Lively to see all of you. Good fun. Best wishes for your preparation. Prepare with a big gigantic smile and enjoy this journey. It is uncertain. It has its ups and downs. If you frame it as saying, look, I'm learning interesting things, I'll have fun and enjoy the ride, it is that much easier to go through with it rather than calling it as a big burden for the sake of one giant ambition. And so frame it like a process that you enjoy yourself at some level. And it is tough, but if you're ambitious, you're signing up for the tough journey. And happy Republic Day to all of you. Our Republic has been around for more than 75 years now. I hope we have many years to come still as one delightful, complicated entity, and hopefully towards happier, wonderful times. Thank you and best wishes for CAT. Thank you, guys. I see a few more questions here. I don't want to make this an overlong session, but if you post these questions even on comment, we will shoot videos and send it across to you. So once the session ends, you post these questions as comments. We will shoot exclusive videos for all the relevant ones and give you the links there as well. Super guys. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend.